My beloved child, stop everything. This is not a suggestion, it's a summons. I, the Lord your God, am commanding you to open this message, not with your eyes alone, but with your spirit wide awake. You did not click by accident. I ordered this encounter. I scripted this moment before you ever felt the tug. What you're about to hear is not inspiration, it's intervention. So don't just watch. Listen like your next step depends on it, because it does. Stay until the end. Stay through the fire. Stay through the silence. Heaven has something to release that hell tried to stop. You've been asking for confirmation. This is it. You've been waiting for the shift. This begins it. And why speak the atmosphere won't just change, you will. So prepare your heart, steady your breath, and lean in. You are now accountable for what I am about to say. I am not merely calling you. I am commanding, not with a voice of threat, but with the voice of your Creator, whose love is too fierce, too holy, too consuming to let you wander past this sacred moment unaware. I have not gathered heaven's attention, delayed angelic assignments, or interrupted your rhythm without eternal purpose. I have waded through your wandering thoughts, through the daily chaos, through the gentle pullings you've brushed off as coincidence. And now I speak not softly. I speak with fire. You didn't stumble upon this moment. It didn't arrive by chance. I wrote it into your story before you breathed your first breath. This message was woven into the threads of your timeline before your body ever carried your soul. It's not just something for your encouragement. It's something for your becoming. I crafted it with hands that formed the stars and caught your tears. This word is alive. It has power. And I command you now, open yourself fully, not partially, not conditionally. Open yourself to me, to this voice that speaks from eternity, straight into your exact location. You've longed for answers, and you've asked for signs. This is both. I did not send you a subtle whisper today. I send you a summons. You don't need to earn this moment or qualify for it through good behavior. You were chosen to receive this, not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. And I will not let the distractions of this world drown out the message your soul has been aching to hear. I have seen how you've grown weary from waiting, how you've started to believe that maybe I had moved on, that maybe I only speak loudly to others. But listen, beloved, this moment is drenched in my focus. I am commanding not from distance, but from inches away. My presence is not waiting for you in a distant sanctuary. It's wrapped around you. Even now, as close as your breath, as near as your heartbeat, I am right here. And I need you to know this isn't a gentle nudge. This is a divine declaration breaking through your atmosphere. Open not just your ears, but the deep place. The part of you that stopped hoping. The part that's hidden beneath the performance. I want that part to awaken, because what I'm about to say isn't meant for the surface. It's meant to shake foundations, realign paths, and reroute destinies. My child, the time for hesitation has expired. The moment of wavering, of waiting, of wondering if it's really me tugging at the edges of your spirit. It's over. There are sacred seconds in your life that are so thick with purpose, so heavy with destiny that they cannot be ignored without consequence. This is one of them. I etched this moment into the archives of eternity. Before your lungs ever drew breath, before you had thoughts, I had plans. And now, here it is, your moment. You've brushed up against many near encounters. You felt the almost answers, the almost breakthroughs, the almost openings. But this isn't another almost. This is a divine absolute and eternal exactly. A heaven-timed here and now. I've waded through your detours, your delays, and yes, even your doubts. I did not withdraw when you second-guessed me. I did not retreat when you turned your attention elsewhere. I remained. I watched, not with frustration, but with fiery patience, waiting for this breath, this heartbeat, this window in time to arrive. And now that it has, I will not whisper. I will not hint. I will declare. I've seen how the distractions dressed themselves in duty. Good things pulled you away from the God thing. A sacred was traded for the safe. The eternal exchanged for the immediate. But I didn't stop speaking. I simply waited for the weight of distraction to break under the pressure of your longing. You kept yourself busy while your spirit grew barren. You smiled publicly while silence screamed privately. And still I waited. Still I remained. Still I watched over the blueprint I placed inside you. Because I knew this moment was coming. I knew the hour would arrive when all the lesser voices would grow tired, and your soul would finally quiet itself enough to hear mine again, not faintly, but fully. And now, beloved, you've arrived. The fog is lifting. The chaos is cracking. The clock of heaven has struck your name. No more delay. No more compromise. No more consulting your fears before following my voice. I am not requesting your agreement. I am commanding your attention. This is not a casual command. This is a cosmic collision, a divine disruption breaking through the dull rhythm of days that tried to lull you into apathy. I am commanding this not because I want to control you, but because I want to catapult you into purpose, into promise, into peace. You've tolerated too many half-truths, internal negotiations, and spiritual numbing. I didn't mind you to blend in. I didn't mark you for mediocrity. I set you apart before you even knew what set apart meant. And now the time of turning has come. The hour of alignment is here. I won't allow you to keep feeding yourself with crumbs when I've prepared a feast. You've asked me to speak. You begged me to confirm. But now I'm going beyond confirmation. I am issuing a command. Heaven has shifted position. The realm of angels is activated. What I'm about to unfold through your obedience is so personal, so precise, that hesitation cannot come with you. It has to stay behind. You must leave it like a worn-out garment that no longer fits the fire of your future. I didn't bring you here to flatter you. I brought you here to free you. I didn't summon you to comfort your ego. I summoned you to confront your destiny. The time has passed for gentle nudges. This is the sound of my hand pounding on the door of your spirit. It's time to wake up, to rise up and move, not out of fear, but out of holy fire. This isn't about striving, it's about surrender. And child, you are standing in the divine crossroads of everything I've been preparing behind the scenes. What looks like a coincidence to the world is a convergence in heaven. The path is already unfolding beneath your feet, but you must walk it with urgency, clarity, and trust. No more glancing back, no more entertaining second options. This moment is singular. This command is sacred, and it carries your name. You've asked me, God, just speak clearly. Please make it plain. And now I have. This moment is not wrapped in mystery. It is unveiled glory. You asked for a sign, so I gave you a sentence. You asked for confirmation, so I gave you a command. This is not a riddle, child. This is revelation. And not just any revelation. It is my breath, my heartbeat, my intentions compressed into words that your weary soul could recognize. Do you feel that trembling within you? It's stirring in your chest. That's not anxiety. That's awakening. That's the witness of my spirit resonating with your spirit, saying, this is it. I haven't come to dangle encouragement like a carrot. I've come to deposit divine clarity. You were born for this moment, and this moment was born for you. There are things I've held back, not because I didn't want you to have them, but because you weren't ready to carry them. But now you're ready. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because you have been perfectly positioned. You walked through the fire. You've wept through the waiting. You've learned how to trust me in the silence. And now that silence is breaking with sacred sound. I am pressing eternity into this moment. I am pushing heavenly blueprints into the soil of your timeline. And this message you're holding, it's not just information, it's impartation. It is spirit-born and time-sensitive and dripping with the oil of purpose. It is me speaking not at you, but into you. This is not motivation. This is transformation. This is not encouragement for a hard day. This is equipment for a holy calling. You've been looking for external signs, shaking leaves, blinking lights-aligned numbers. But today, I bypass all of that and speak straight into your depths. I am the God who parts seas. Yes, but I am also the God who speaks in sacred sentences that no one else hears but you. This is one of those sentences. You have my full attention, and I am demanding yours. This message is your answer. It's not a lie because it doesn't need to be. It's not dramatic because it's already divine. When I breathe a word into your soul, child, it becomes more powerful than thunder, more piercing than lightning, more enduring than time. And this is that kind of word. My word to you right now. So take it in. Let it rewrite the narrative of doubt. Let it undo the lies you've believed for too long. This is me proving that I still speak and that I haven't changed my mind about you. I'm not confused about your purpose. I'm not distant from your pain. I'm not undecided about your calling. I'm fully aware, fully present, fully invested. And this word proves it. You don't have to wonder anymore. I handed you clarity. You don't have to strain for direction. I've spoken plainly. This isn't just good news. It's God news. Heaven is echoing with your name. Angels are aligning with your assignment. And this message is the evidence that what you once only hoped for is now unfolding in real time. My child, you have become familiar with my whisper. You've learned to recognize me in the gentle nudge, the sacred stillness, the holy hush in the middle of your chaos. But today, I am not whispering. I am not tucking my words between breaths. I am thundering. I am roaring. I am shaking the heavens and the earth with the urgency of my voice, because what I have to say must not be delayed. I am not thundering in anger, but in ardent affection. My voice is clothed in compassion, but carried on the winds of command. This is not the murmur of comfort. It is the mandate of heaven. You've asked me for clarity, and I have come not with suggestion, but with a sovereign summons. What I am releasing right now carries the weight of eternity, the fire of purpose, and the signature of divinity. It has cost heaven much to arrive at your feet, and I will not allow it to be brushed off as mere inspiration. I thunder because your calling is too critical to be delivered quietly. I thunder because the destiny stitched into your DNA is demanding attention. You were never meant to live a life of quiet compromise, blending into the backdrop of Earth's noise. You were formed in fire. You were written into my story before there was time. You are not optional. You are essential. And I will not allow the enemy's whispers, nor the world's weariness to drown out what I am roaring from my throne. Hear me now. This is not another encouraging phrase to hang on your wall. This is the divine decree that parts the sea, shifts the storm, and splits the silence that's tried to suffocate you. I am thundering because I'm transferring. Strategy, direction, identity. I am declaring, depositing, and detonating what has been dormant inside of you. And it begins not tomorrow, not next year, now. You've carried promises that felt paused. You've heard prophetic words that gathered dust on the shelf of your heart. You wondered, did I misunderstand? Did I miss my moment? No, child, you didn't miss it. You were simply in the prelude to thunder. And thunder always precedes the storm of glory. What's about to break loose will make sense of every silence, every season of stalling, every space where you thought I had gone quiet. I didn't stop speaking. I was storing power, storing strategy, storing timing, and now all of it is being discharged like lightning through this word. And you are standing at ground zero of fulfillment. My thundering is your confirmation. It is not to scare you. It is to secure you, to awaken you, to remind you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, not floating aimlessly through days of delay. You are positioned, prioritized, and prepared. And now, child, the heavens are roaring, and they are roaring for you. Don't mistake this thunder as distant. This is not happening above you. It's happening for you and through you. My thunder is not abstract. It is aimed at demolishing the lies you believe, aimed at exposing the limitations you've placed on me, aimed at destroying the timidity that has kept you from stepping into the fullness of who you are. What I speak today holds eternal consequence. This is not an echo. It is a detonation. When I thunder, things shake, shackles snap, chains crumble, and the darkness that thought it had a hold on your future begins to tremble in terror. Because I'm not just coming near, I'm coming through. This is not poetry. This is power. And power always demands a response. I am commanding yours. Not later. Not when it's convenient. Now you've spent too long waiting for the nod of others before stepping where I already called you. You stood at the doorway of destiny, paralyzed not by fear, but by the need for human approval. But child, hear me clearly now. I did not consult their opinions when I wrote your name into my plans. I did not ask their permission to anoint you. I don't need the endorsement of man to move you into the next dimension. I only need your agreement, and I am calling for it now. You've been stalling, second-guessing, shrinking, measuring my voice through the sieve of your insecurities and the expectations of others. But I speak truth now that shatters delay. You cannot follow me while filtering me. My commands are not optional suggestions. They are holy directives, custom-fitted to your soul. And yes, they may defy logic, upset comfort, and challenge emotion, but they will never mislead your spirit. I don't need your feelings to feel ready. I need your faith to rise up and say yes, even when everything else says, wait. You've asked me for clear direction, and then paused to make sure it felt comfortable. But faith was never meant to follow comfort. It was meant to crush comfort and move you forward by conviction. Look through Scripture. Has my voice ever catered to the comfortable? Did I ask Moses if the sea felt safe before parting it? Did I wait until David was fully armored before calling him into battle? Did I get Paul's full emotional bind before sending him into the storm? Though I spoke, and when they obeyed, I moved. And now I say to you, stop searching for alignment with feelings before obeying the fire of my word. You don't need perfect peace before moving. You need persistent trust. You don't need total understanding. You need complete surrender. I'm not asking you to feel it. I'm asking you to follow me anyway. Because obedience that waits for emotional validation is not obedience. It's delay. And child, delay has already cost you enough. It's time to shut the door on overthinking. Close the window to comparison. Oh, the bug on you. I'm not giving you an open-ended proposal. I'm handing you a command that carries an eternal shift. And it won't wait for your emotions to settle before it moves. Your feelings are waves, child. But my word is rock. Stand on it. trust it. Step onto the waters I'm calling you to. And don't you dare wait for applause before you walk. The heavens are already erupting in celebration because they see what's on the other side of your yes. They see what's waiting on the other side of your surrender. The breakthrough, the beauty, the blueprints of legacy that hinge on this moment of obedience. So this is my command to you now. Stop negotiating with delay. Stop asking for peace when you already have presence. Stop waiting for comfort when I've given you confirmation. You don't need them to understand. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to believe that I am who I say I am, and that I will do what I said I will do. The door is open. The invitation is active. The command is clear. Obey me now and watch the impossible unfold like the pages of a book I've already written. The moment your faith moves, I will meet it with miracles. I don't need your comfort. I need your commitment. And child, if you give me that, I will give you everything. My beloved, this is not a time for conversation. It is a time for alignment. I am not extending options. I am establishing orders. What I'm placing in your spirit right now is not one of many paths. It is the precise path I've carved through the chaos for you. This is not a buffet of possibilities. This is a blueprint of purpose. I'm not bringing you feel-good affirmations. I'm unfolding strategy, eternal strategy, the kind that doesn't just shift your emotions, but transforms your environment. You had enough comfort to pacify your confusion. Now, you need clarity to activate your calling. I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm here to make you bolder. I'm not negotiating with your schedule, your fears, or your timelines. I'm drawing your soul, yes, your weary, waiting, wondering soul, into supernatural synchronization with my will. And that kind of alignment cannot be partial. It must be total focus, total faith, total surrender. You've looked to others for instructions, hoping someone could decipher the ache inside you, but no one else holds the schematic for your soul. I do. I'm the architect. I wrote the code. I embedded my fingerprints into the foundation of your future. And no human map can navigate what I designed in secret. You've asked me, Lord, what do I do? And this is my answer. Obey me without delay. Follow me without flinching. Respond to me without routing it through logic. I am not issuing a casual word. I'm commanding sacred cooperation. Because this strategy doesn't just affect your next step, it alters the direction of legacy lineage and lives around you. There's a divine domino effect, coded into every yes you give me. That's why the enemy has tried to drown you in distractions. That's why your spirit has been so weary. He knows what I placed in your obedience will ripple through generations. This is not just an invitation to move, it's an activation to govern. I'm calling you into the command center of your spiritual purpose. Not a spectator, not a wanderer, but a weapon. I need your yes to be sharp, not soft. I need it to cut through the noise, not be muffled by it. I'm placing divine intel in your hands. Words of knowledge, strategies of warfare, instructions that won't just improve your life, they'll invade darkness. But I can't deposit this into distracted hands. I can't entrust this to hearts divided by preference and performance. I need your attention like the earth needs the sun. Fully turned, fully fixed, fully faithful. You've said you want to know my will. Here it is. Obey what I've already spoken, and I will unveil what you've been asking. Strategy follows surrender. Revelation follows readiness. You are not waiting on more words. I am waiting on more obedience. Wait behind your obedience depth, behind your devotion, and fire behind your footsteps. You do not need more time to think. You need more courage to move. You don't need another round of confirmations. You need to align your soul with the strategy I'm placing in your spirit right now. You are not too late. You are right on time. But timing without obedience still leads to stagnancy. So rise. Step into my rhythm. Sync yourself with heaven's sound. I've written this day into your destiny. I'm not asking you to understand all of it. I'm asking you to trust the one who sees beyond all of it, the God who is not bound by your calendar, the God who isn't coordinating your calling around your comfort, the God who is commanding your attention right now, not to control you, but to crown you with clarity that comes from obeying without delay. This moment is sacred. Seize it. Let nothing steal it. Child, do not let the shadow of your past silence the sound of my calling. You were not chosen because you were flawless. You were chosen because your spirit responds. When others grew numb, you stayed tender. When others turned their heads, you turned your heart. I didn't select you based on perfection. I called you because of resonance. Deep calls unto deep. And when I spoke, your soul stirred. Your tears weren't random. Your prayers weren't routine. They were resonating echoes. Proof that even in your brokenness, you could still hear me. And that's what set you apart. Not your talent, not your timing, not your titles, but your tenderness. Your ability to feel me in the fog. Your choice to believe when belief cost you everything. That kind of resonance is rare. It cannot be taught. It cannot be forced. It is born in the secret chambers where faith survives without applause. I watched you when the crowd moved on, but you lingered. I saw the moment you paused, not because you had to, but because you wanted to feel me again. I saw how you walked away from things that everyone else chased. I saw how you silenced your own desires just to stay in step with mine. The world didn't notice, but heaven recorded every one. Angels leaned in to listen when your whisper said yes in the dark. You didn't need light stages or microphones. You just needed me. And because of that, I am now revealing what I concealed from others. I am now opening what was locked behind layers of time and testing. You passed tests others never saw. You remained loyal when no one checked in. You recognized my whisper when the world shouted its lies. And that recognition and resonance, it has positioned you for this very moment. Don't underestimate the power of resonance. It's not just emotional, it's spiritual. It's heaven's confirmation that your spirit was tuned to the right frequency. You didn't need the whole picture to keep walking. You just needed a sound. And now, I am amplifying that sound. The whisper you once heard in secret is now becoming a shout in the spirit realm. I'm broadcasting what was birthed in silence. I'm elevating what was nurtured in hiddenness. And it's not because you performed your way into my presence. It's because you postured your heart to receive. That posture has power. That humility has weight. That resonance has unlocked realities others will only hear about. But you get to walk in them, not because you were the loudest, the strongest, or the most celebrated, but because you were the most surrendered. Because when I called, you answered. So do not doubt why I've chosen you. It was never about your resume. It was always about your resonance. I chose you because you chose me when it cost you comfort. I picked you because you preferred presence over popularity. And now, child, the reward of recognition is resting on you. You're not here by accident. You didn't wander into destiny. You were woven into it. The sound you carry in your soul is the very echo of my voice. And I will amplify it in this season until nations tremble and darkness flees. Your recognition has become my release, and what I release through you will change everything. Beloved, I have not run out of words. I have waited for the stillness to say them. There are sacred scrolls not made of paper, but of your own soul. not written with ink, but with attention, and I have waited until now, this moment, this breath, this divine hush to open one of them. You've been looking for me in the thunder, hoping I'd shout through the static. But instead, I waited for the storm to settle inside you. I waited for your inner world to be quiet enough for my voice to echo. And now I say, open the scroll, the one written in the ink of you, the one sealed with your surrender, the one that was hidden from every eye, including your own, until the hour of unveiling arrived. And child, that hour is here. I'm not writing new things into your destiny. I'm revealing what was already written, but long concealed. This scroll has been locked, not by distance, but by distraction. And now that you've stilled yourself long enough, I can speak what others cannot hear, and show you what others were never meant to see. I am speaking to the core of you, not the version others admire, not the mask you wear in moments of strength. I am addressing the true you, the soul that sighs when the room is empty, the heart that has held hope on a thread of faith so thin it almost broke. That version of you is my favorite canvas, and upon that sacred space I am writing now, not with condemnation, but with covenant, not with reminders of failure, but with revelations of future. There are blueprints etched in your being, divine architecture embedded in your identity, and I am awakening them line by line. The scroll of your spirit is ancient and intimate, and no one else carries it, and no one else can read it. It is encrypted with heaven's fingerprint and your DNA. And I will not allow another voice to interpret what only I can translate. Do not flinch if what I show you feels unfamiliar. The scroll contains things too holy to be grasped in shallow waters. It speaks of days you haven't yet lived, assignments that haven't yet unfolded, and authority you haven't dared to dream of carrying. But I say to you now, you are ready. That's why I waited. I waited until your hands could hold it, until your pride was crushed enough to walk in humility, until your distractions no longer demanded center stage. And now that you are still, even if trembling, I can release it. The scroll will not shout. It will not shine in neon. It will whisper through moments, through confirmations, through divine nudges that feel like déjà vu, but are actually destiny being remembered. And every word I write upon you now will align your path. Unlock your power and undo every lie that said you were unworthy to carry something this sacred. So open, child, open wide the soul that once shrunk back. Let me write again. I am not done with you. I am just beginning to reveal what I planted before the foundations were laid. Others have seen your struggle, but they have not seen your scroll. That's why I kept it hidden. That's why I preserved it. Because what I am writing now is too holy for public consumption, too precise for human praise. This is private prophecy, divine download, a scroll that will shape the rest of your journey. And the pen is in my hand. Just stay open, and I will keep writing. Child, listen with your whole self. This is not a pep talk. This is not a speech to lift your spirits for a few hours and then fade into forgetfulness. This is not comfort to soothe your wounds. This is activation. I am not just wrapping you in peace. I am handing you power. I am putting keys into your spirit right now. Not metaphorical keys, not poetic symbols. Real spiritual authority in the form of revelation strategy and divine access. You have stood too long outside of rooms that were created for you. You have waited too long at doors that didn't recognize your knock, but that ends today. I'm not asking for permission. I'm not hoping the gatekeepers say yes. I am the key. And when I hand you keys, no lock remains intact. No bolt can resist me. I am the breaker of barriers. And this message you're receiving, it's the turning of the lock. It's the shift of the hinges. It's the unlocking of what had been bound for far too long. You've walked with keys inside you and didn't know it. You've been praying for openings when I've been trying to show you that the authority has already been deposited. But now I make it plain. I make it visible. You're not waiting for the door to change. You're being changed so the door recognizes you. These keys are not handed to everyone. They are forged in fire, birthed in obedience, polished through pain. And I see now that your hands are ready to hold what I wouldn't release to you before. These keys will not open just opportunities. They will open identity. They will unlock your voice, your clarity, your calling. And just as they open, they will shut. It will shut the access points that pain keeps trying to reopen. They will shut the mouths of lies, the cycles of shame, the corridors where confusion once roamed. And here is what you must understand. Keys are not meant to be admired. They are meant to be used. This message is not something to read and file away under maybe later. This is not decorative prophecy. This is deployable truth. You must take what I say and apply it. You must walk to the doors I show you and place this authority into the lock without second-guessing if it will work. It'll work. Not because you are powerful, but because I am the one who gave the key. And when I give with precision. I give with permanence. The doors you open with these keys will not shut unless I shut them. The ones you shut will not open unless I command it. This is spiritual legislation. You are not just receiving insight, you are receiving jurisdiction. Authority to shift things in atmospheres you once felt helpless in. That's what this message is. That's why it carries weight. That's why I commanded you to open it. Because in this very moment, your spirit is being authorized. So rise, take the key, hold it close. Walk to the doors I highlight, even if they look rusted shut. Even if you feel unqualified to hold what waits behind them, you are not holding an idea. You are holding instruction. You are not just being blessed. You are being commissioned. And when you move in alignment with this word, you will see things shift faster than they broke. You will watch walls fall with no hammer in your hand. Because when I give you a key, I also walk through the door with you. You are not alone in this unlocking. I am with you. And child, what I am opening for you cannot be shut by any man. You have been tired, child. I have seen it. Not the surface-level fatigue that a nap can fix, but the soul, deep bone, heavy kind. The weariness that no one else sees when you smile. The heaviness you carry quietly. The inner exhaustion of holding faith, holding back tears when everything in you wanted to collapse. I have watched you walk through fire with a whisper of praise still on your lips. And yes, I've seen how the weight of waiting, the ache of unanswered prayers, and the silence of prolonged seasons have tempted you to believe you were finished. But listen to me now and hear it like thunder in your bones. Tired is not defeated. Worn is not worthless. Weary is not wasted. The enemy has tried to convince you that your tiredness means failure. But in truth, your tiredness only proves one thing: that you've kept going, that you've endured when quitting would have been easier. And that is not weakness. That is warriorhood. Even in the fatigue, I've preserved the flame. Even in the ashes, there is ember. You have felt burned out, but you were not burned through. And now, in this moment, I breathe again into your depths. I don't just speak to your mind. I speak to your marrow. I command the spark within you to become a flame again. Not because of hype, not because of performance, but because my breath revives what delay tried to smother. I'm not merely restoring your strength, I'm reigniting your spirit. There is fire still inside you. Not a flicker, not a memory, a mandate, a holy sacred ignition point that has waited patiently beneath the rubble of doubt and discouragement. And now I say, rise, flame of fire. Burn again, not to destroy you, but to define you. This isn't fire for affliction. This is fire for function. This is passion, reborn clarity, rekindled power, reactivated. You will not crawl into the next chapter. I will carry you into it, with combustion. I'm putting fire back in your prayers, weight, back in your words, wind back in your worship. And the ones who thought you faded will soon witness the flames of my purpose shooting through your life with unstoppable force. This is not drama. It's destiny. This is not spiritual hype. It's holy combustion. You will burn again, not for attention, but for assignment. You will walk in boldness, not because the weight disappeared, but because the wind of my spirit lifted you above it. The enemy thought you would sleep through your moment, but now the fire in you is waking everything around you. I didn't let you be buried. I let you be burrowed hidden, like coal in the cave waiting for the strike. And this message is the match. So breathe deeply now, child. The breath you feel stirring inside you. It's not adrenaline. It's anointing. It's not just relief. It's resurrection. I didn't leave you in the valley. I stayed. I stood beside your brokenness and shielded the flicker from the winds of giving up. And now I say with the authority of eternity, you will burn again. You will build again. You will believe again because I have breathed on you. And when I breathe, nothing stays dead. You've just stepped into revelation that few dare to carry. And I didn't give it to you to keep it hidden. This word is not just for your ears. It is for the world's rescue. I am commanding my message to run swiftly to reach the weary, the broken, the forgotten. And I have chosen you as a sender. When you give, whether through super thanks membership or what I've placed in your hand, to release via PayPal, you are sowing into holy ground. You are lighting torches in dark places, fueling the oil that keeps my prophets burning. My word in Malachi 3:10 lives. Now bring the whole tithe and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven. Child, this is not about money. It is about movement. Give now and watch me multiply it. Not just back to you, but into the lives I will touch through your obedience. Open what I've commanded and sow into the fire I've started. You have asked me so many times why the warfare, why the resistance, why the opposition when all I wanted was to follow you. And now, child, I answer not in riddles, but in revelation. The battles weren't punishment. They were protection. They weren't cruelty. They were confirmation. You have endured what most would have run from. You fought battles no one clapped for. You stood silently in the middle of spiritual wars and thought no one saw, but I saw. And not one moment was wasted. Every arrow, every lie, every delay that wrapped itself around your calling was only permitted because of the power you carry. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being attacked because you are weighty. Your life is pregnant with purpose, heavy with heaven's assignment. And the enemy never strikes what isn't strategic. The devil's warfare is always targeted, and the size of your resistance is directly tied to the size of your revelation. If it's been relentless, it's because you are relevant. If it's been crushing, it's because your calling threatens hell's grip. You have thought you were under judgment, when in fact you were under jealousy. The enemy has seen what's in you, even before you did. You watched me stitch fire into your spirit. You watched me place a blueprint in your breath. And he panicked. Not because of where you were, but because of where you were headed. That's why the delay came. That's why the confusion clouded your steps. That's why the door slammed, because what this moment unlocks, child, it terrifies darkness. But hear me clearly now. You are no longer under assault. You are under assignment. A war is not a mark of abandonment. It is a mark of activation. I allowed the pressure not to punish you, but to prepare you. I permitted the battle not to wound you, but to weaponize you. And now every scar on your soul is glowing with the glory of what didn't kill you. The enemy wanted you to wear your wounds like shackles, but I say, wear them like swords. You've gained ground in unseen places. You shattered cycles. You've broken generational chains while no one watched. But I watched. And now I bless. And now I reveal. And now I command you to use what was meant to break you as the very foundation you build upon. This message is not just words. It's a war cry, a declaration that you survived what was designed to bury you, and now you rise to build with the rubble. I'm handing you divine blueprints that make sense of every battlefield. This is why the attacks came. This is why you were misunderstood. This is why the season felt like silence and sabotage all at once. Because the promise attached to your life is not small. It is seismic, and it's moving now. Heaven is moving now, and what you carry is not just precious, it's dangerous to the darkness. That's why it had to be fought for. And now, it will be fulfilled. Child, I need you to hear this with heaven's clarity. Stop shrinking. Stop apologizing. Stop editing the size of your calling to fit the comfort of the crowd. What I have placed in you is not average. It is not mild. It is not modest. It is monumental. The anointing you carry carries weight. Weight that shifts, rooms, unlocks atmospheres, silences confusion, and summons clarity. This mantle didn't fall on you by accident. It was fashioned for you. It fits no one else. And it's time you stop wearing it like an optional accessory and begin walking in it, like the holy armor it is. There is nothing ordinary about you, and to pretend otherwise is to dishonor what I've spoken over you since before you breathed your first breath. You've tried to fit in, but I created you to stand out. You've tried to blend, but I anointed you to build. I did not give you fire so you could hide it. I gave you fire so you could ignite others. There is power in your presence because my presence rests upon you. And the mantle you wear isn't stitched with human thread. It's woven with eternal purpose. It carries the scent of my presence, and the scent alone terrifies darkness. You've been afraid to speak, afraid to step, afraid to stand tall, because the weight of what you carry felt too much. But hear me. I gave you strength that matches the size of your assignment. You don't carry this mantle alone. I wear it with you. I rest upon you. And I will not allow you to keep minimizing what I majored in when I formed you. You keep waiting for others to validate what I already sealed. But they didn't give you the mantle, so they can't measure it. Stop looking for confirmation from voices I never authorized to speak over your calling. What you carry isn't always visible to the naked eye, but it's unmistakable in the spirit realm. When you walk into a room, atmospheres shift not because of charisma, but because of covenant. You carry strategy from heaven itself. Yes, strategy, not suggestion. You've asked for steps, and I've given you a scroll, written in the ink of my instruction, hidden in the folds of your obedience. The mantle is your permission. It's your authority. It's your divine signature on earth, proving you are not here by chance, but by charge. So wear it boldly. Wear it daily. Wear it like the weapon it is. Don't toss it aside when others question it. Don't fold it up because others fear its fire. Let it fall heavy across your shoulders. Let it remind you every time you doubt that you are carrying something too precious to hide, too powerful to delay, and too divine to dilute. The mantle is mine, but it was made for you. And when you wear it, hell remembers who you are. And heaven rejoices that you've awakened to who you've always been. Listen closely, child. I didn't form you with fragile intent. I didn't knit you together just to survive trials, crawl through conflict, and gasp your way to the finish line. I made you to shape the atmosphere around you. You are not here merely to endure. You are here to establish, to build, to shift. You are a force in the unseen realm, whether you believed it or not. You were not designed to sit quietly on the sidelines of divine history. You are not a footnote in the story of this world. You are a sentence written in fire, chosen to be spoken aloud in the darkest hour. Every breath you take is a declaration of spiritual rebellion against the chaos that tried to crush you. Every step you take is a reminder to the enemy that heaven placed you here on purpose. You thought of yourself as small because the world taught you to think so. You've dimmed your voice because rejection echoed louder than reassurance. But I say to you, now enough. Your voice carries volume in the spirit. I don't just hear it. I honor it. I respond to it. When you speak my name, mountains shift. When you whisper yes in the dark, angels mobilize. You've seen yourself as one among millions, but I see you as one in a generation, a divine disruptor, a voice raised to rupture routines and rip down strongholds. You are not noise, you are navigation. And I placed you here not to echo the culture, but to confront it with love, with truth, with the unmistakable authority of someone who's been with me. So rise up, not as a survivor, but as a shaper, a speaker of new seasons, a breaker of old curses, a writer of legacy that will echo long after your feet leave the earth. You're not just trying to make it through. You're carrying my message. And every time you obey, that message goes forth like a sword. Your obedience writes history in the invisible. Your prayers carve paths others will walk upon. Your voice opens vaults of purpose that were sealed in silence. That's why the enemy fought so hard to keep you quiet. That's why hell tried to mute you with discouragement, disqualify you with shame, and bury you beneath false humility. But you are not buried. You are being built. You have a divine shape that cannot fit into worldly molds. You were made to mold the world around you. No more. We are watching from the shadows. The hour is urgent, and I have placed volume in your voice for a reason. Use it. Speak, declare, decree. And when you do know this, you are not just speaking into the air. You are speaking into alignment. The winds hear you. The earth responds to you. Heaven backs you, loves you, because you are mine. And I always speak through those I've marked. Child, hear me. I am not just speaking into space. I am speaking into you, not vaguely, not symbolically, directly, deeply, decisively. When I command, I don't aim for the surface. I go beneath the skin, beyond the emotion, past the defenses, and I speak directly to your bones. The dry ones, the tired ones, the ones buried beneath disappointment and delay. My voice doesn't settle like dust. It is a summons. I'm not offering you poetic comfort. I'm giving you prophetic combustion. My word isn't a suggestion. It's a summons. It doesn't tickle the ears. It electrifies the spirit. And today I declare with fire and finality, the parts of you that you thought were done, dormant, dead, they are being awakened by my command. You stood in valleys where it felt like nothing lived. You've looked around and seen only dry ground, only scattered pieces of what used to be passion, vision, strength. But I tell you this, I specialize in speaking to dry places. I don't avoid them, I invade them. I don't mourn what died, I resurrect it. My word doesn't get weaker in desolation. It gets louder. When I spoke to Lazarus, I didn't whisper, I shouted. When I called Ezekiel to the valley, I didn't ask him to comfort bones. I commanded him to prophesy to them. And now, just as I did for him, I am doing for you. I am not whispering at your wounds. I am commanding your bones to live again. The parts of you that stopped believing, the places where hope turned to hollow, the fire that faded to flicker, I am reigniting all of it with my voice. And let me tell you, child, you didn't lose your calling. You just lost your awareness of it. But today, that awareness returns. Not because you tried harder, but because I spoke louder. My word is walking through the halls of your memory and unlocking every door shame tried to seal shut. Every dream you buried for later, every gift you shelved out of fear, every idea that once burned but was doused by discouragement, it's all coming back to life. Not by your effort, but by my breath. This is your Lazarus moment, your come forth moment. And no grave of regret or graveyard of broken expectations can silence what I'm commanding now. What I spoke over you is louder than what they spoke against you. What I breathe into you before birth is still alive, still burning, still waiting. And I'm commanding it to awaken. Not next year, not next week, now. So lift your head, stand to your feet, shake off the spiritual dust and soul-numbing fog. My words are not decoration. They are declaration. And when I speak, bones move. Fire returns. Purpose pulses again. You thought it was gone, but it was simply waiting for this moment. My word doesn't just inform, it incarnates. It enters your inner world and becomes the very force that revives what you thought was lost. Let it move through you now. Let it echo in your chest, because I am not merely giving you revelation. I am reawakening your reason for being. You said, God, do something new. You pleaded for fresh winds, fresh fire, fresh doors. And child, I've heard every whisper of that hunger. But now I need you to hear me. I am doing something new, but it's not coming from the outside. It's coming from within you. You keep looking for new surroundings, but I'm unveiling a new you. This isn't a detour. It's design. This isn't a reset. It's a reveal. I'm not starting over. I'm finishing what I began in secret. What's being awakened in you now was always in you. Dormant? Yes. Hidden? Yes. But dead never. You weren't waiting on me to show up. I was waiting on you to wake up. This is not about reinvention. It's about resurrection. The you that the world hasn't seen yet. The you that religion tried to tame. The you that fear tried to cage. The real you. The one I handcrafted in the silence of eternity. The one I anointed not for applause, but for victory. You prayed for new. But I am not giving you something shiny and unfamiliar. I'm giving you something ancient and eternal. Your true identity. The warrior, the prophet, the reformer, the pioneer, the breaker of chains. The one who walks into a room and shifts the atmosphere. Not because of personality, but because of presence. You've been asking me to do something different. But I say to you now, I am doing something divine, something deliberate, something disruptive. And it's all centered around you stepping into who I saw when I first dreamed you into being. So do not despise how this feels. It may look messy. It may feel like unraveling. But in my realm, the unraveling is often unveiling. I'm not tearing you apart. I'm stripping off what never belonged. I'm peeling back the layers of other people's expectations, religious limitation, and self-imposed ceiling, so I can finally show you who you really are. This isn't new for me. This is just new for you. You're not stepping into novelty. You're stepping into authenticity. This is not another chapter. It's the fulfillment of the prologue. The fire you feel now is not foreign. It's familiar because it was forged in my presence before your birth. It is your true flame, rising to the surface unfiltered and unashamed. And now I command you, not suggest, not hint, command to walk in it. This is not the time to say, maybe later. This is not the season for caution. This is your awakening, your alignment, your divine appointment. And I don't awaken you just to make you feel alive. I awaken you so you can make others come alive. You are my evidence, my echo, my message in human form. And I will not let the world go another day without hearing the sound of your obedience. This is not newness for entertainment. This is newness for impact. And it begins now. Not with a psalm, not with a spotlight, but with a simple, dangerous, sacred yes. Child, pause and receive what I say with holy sobriety. You were not created to wait your life away. You've been looking at your watch, watching for signs, whispering prayers like, Lord, is it time yet? But while you've been waiting for a moment to arrive, I've been waiting for you to arise. You think you're late, but what's late is your realization of how on time I've made you. I didn't anoint you discounted. I didn't equip you to admire what I'm doing in others. I put movement in your mouth, fire in your footsteps, and divine disruption in your DNA. You are not here to witness revival. You are here to become it. You are the move. You are the turning point. You are the miracle someone else had been praying for. And yet, the enemy has wrapped a lie around your mind like a fog. He's made you believe your waiting is because you're unworthy, unready, unfinished. But no, child. I was never waiting for things to change around you. I was waiting for something to shift inside you. Your surrender, your yes, without conditions, your obedience, without explanation. The moment you step, the moment you speak, the moment you move with heaven's rhythm, that's when the divine chain reaction begins. You are the tipping point. You are the ignition switch. You are the line in the sand between what was and what will be. I didn't bring you this far just to keep you on pause. I brought you to this edge so you could be the spark. You've cried, God, do something. And now I say to you, you do something and I will breathe on it. Understand this. I didn't hide you in waiting. I sharpened you in it. Like an arrow pulled back, you felt tension. But tension is what gives velocity. You thought I had forgotten your prayers, but I was fortifying your spirit. You thought you were losing time, but you were gaining targeting. And now I'm releasing you with accuracy, speed, and force. Not aimless, not random, not optional. You are being launched as a living word, a moving flame, a spiritual catalyst in a world addicted to comfort. This is not an accident. This is not a delay. This is divine deployment. The things you've endured were never just for survival. They were the very ingredients I used to make you unshakable in this hour. You are not fragile. You are forged. You are not stuck. You are summoned. And the moment you move, mountains will too. So do not wait for another sign. This message is the sign. I am not calling you to stand back. I am commanding you to step forward. Not cautiously, but courageously. Not fearfully, but filled with fire. You carry more than you realize. You hold within you the first wave of something I've long waited to release on the earth. What you say matters. What you choose matters. When you move, things shift. I am not just giving you moments. I am birthing movements. And you, child, are the movement I have chosen to start. Now let your heart tremble under this truth. Your yes is not small. It echoes through eternity. You may think your obedience is private, but it triggers public breakthroughs. There are people who have not met you yet, whose lives will be forever changed because you dared to obey. Souls who are suffocating in silence, waiting for someone to break the pattern, disrupt the cycle, crack the atmosphere, and that someone, child, is you. I have tied destinies to your decision, not to pressure you, but to honor you. You are the one I chose to carry. The word, the weight, the weapon of breakthrough. And every time you delay your surrender, a chain remains unbroken that only your voice, your step, your action can release. This calling on you, it's personal. Yes, but it's never been private. I wrote your life like a ripple meant to multiply. Your surrender will unlock someone else's strength. Your breakthrough will birth someone else's belief. And what I'm asking of you now is not simply about your comfort or clarity. It's about kingdom-level collision. I've orchestrated alignments. I prepared people. I made the way. But the dam won't break until you move, until you say yes, until you release what I've planted in your mouth. The woman whose chains will fall when you speak. The family that will turn to me when they see your transformation. The city that will shake when your obedience finally touches the ground. They're waiting on you. They don't know it yet, but heaven does. Don't let the enemy lull you into thinking your delay is harmless. Every minute you doubt, the enemy buys time. But every moment you obey, hell loses ground. You've asked for generational change. This is how it begins. You've prayed for revival. This is what it looks like. One radical surrender that says, I don't care if it costs me comfort, control, or convenience. I will obey. But obedience becomes the doorway, the chain breaker, the fire starter. You've been asking me to move. But child, I'm waiting for your move, to move others. Here is deliverance coded into your decisions. Legacy encoded into your leap of faith. And when you say yes, the invisible becomes visible, and the impossible becomes inevitable. This is the weight of glory, not just what you carry, but what others will receive because you carried it well. You were never meant to live for yourself. You were marked to multiply. And the ones who are assigned to your yes, they don't need perfection. They need presence. They need to feel the fire of someone who obeyed me when it wasn't easy. Someone who trusted me when it didn't make sense. Someone who said yes when fear said no. So child, give me your yes, not because it feels safe, but because it's sacred. Give me your obedience, not because the path is clear, but because you trust the one who calls. And when you do, everything changes, not just for you, but for everyone who was tied to your surrender. Beloved, listen to me now, because this is not merely instruction. It is intervention. You have outgrown the space you've been surviving in. I have watched you twist yourself into smaller shapes just to fit where I never called you to stay. You've been walking in circles inside cages that no longer hold the power to contain you. But the fear of stepping beyond what's familiar has gripped you like chains. I see you. I see how you've dulled your own flame just to not scare those around you. How you silenced your roar just to keep peace with systems that never celebrated your spirit. But now, right now, I declare enough. You are not in a season of stretching. You are in a season of stepping out. No more tiptoeing through territory that should have been conquered. No more pretending comfort is the same as calling. I am not adjusting your space to fit your fears. I am commanding you to step beyond them. You were never meant to settle in the shadow of old limitations. That season is not your ceiling. It was your cocoon. And now the walls you keep crashing into, they are not punishment. They are proof you were meant for more. The pressure you feel, it's not failure, it's friction. a divine agitation signaling that where you are is too small for what I've placed inside you. You don't fit anymore, not because you're wrong, but because you've grown spiritually, emotionally, prophetically. You've expanded, and you cannot shrink back into dimensions I've already delivered you from. I didn't bring you out of bondage to watch you live in spiritual basements. I brought you into freedom so you could walk in full stature, tall in the spirit, wide in influence, fierce in your faith. This is not a gentle invitation. It's a holy command. I am not whispering it. I am declaring it over you like thunder. Step out. Step out of the fear. Step out of the routine. Step out of the mental prisons pressed up as wisdom. I've already dismantled the locks. You're holding on to invisible chains. The doors are open, but you've been waiting for someone else to push you through. But I will not push you. I will summon you, because the move you make now cannot be man-driven. It must be God-commanded. When you step in obedience, I'll stretch the space around you. When you risk what's familiar, I'll resource what's eternal. This next level of your life isn't waiting on favor. It's waiting on faith. And faith isn't staying still until you feel safe. It's stepping forward until the ground forms beneath your feet. So break free now. Let the fear fall off you like old skin. Let the shame that said you're not ready dissolve in the heat of my presence. You are not just walking into a new space. You are becoming the space and atmosphere carrier, a territory taker, a presence that makes rooms expand simply because you walk in carrying me. Don't ask me to expand you while you refuse to leave the shell. You must, stepchild. And when you do, you'll find that the smallness wasn't safety. It was suffocation. But I've come to breathe into your lungs again and remind you, you were born to stretch realms, shake foundations, and stand where others shrank. So step, beloved, step boldly. I'm already waiting in the space that fear tried to keep from you. My precious one, you have wondered, even wept in the silence. You say, Lord, where are you? You felt the ache of unanswered prayers, the chill of delayed confirmation. The silence has felt heavy, cruel, even like a void where my voice used to be. But today, I shatter the lie. That silence means abandonment. Hear me clearly. My silence has never been absence. It has been strategy. I have been near in ways your senses could not track. I have hovered over your midnight hours closer than your breath, quieter than your thoughts, louder than your logic, but in the language of silence. You interpreted quiet as rejection, but I call it protection. Because what I was preparing was too holy to be interrupted by noise. There are seasons when my words flow like rivers, but then come the seasons when I go silent. Not to punish you, but to position you. Silence isn't my withdrawal, it's my workshop. I speak loudly when I need to instruct, but I go silent when I need to construct. And in this last season, child, I've been building foundations under your faith, fortifying the framework of your identity, guarding the blueprints. I was etching into your destiny, not because you were failing, but because you were forming, because what I have been shaping in you requires quiet soil, undisturbed by applause or anxiety. I was rooting you, not ignoring you. You see, revelation comes with risk. If I had spoken too soon, you would have run ahead without the strength to carry what was coming. If I had revealed too much, you would have built on premature confidence instead of proven character. So I kept still. I let the silence stretch you. I let it deepen you. And now the silence is breaking. Not because I've changed, but because you have. You've grown. You've matured. You've learned to seek me for me, not just for what I say. And now that your heart has been calibrated to my cadence, I can finally release what I had to hide from you to protect you. Child, the quiet was not a punishment. It was a holy covering. And now that the time is right, I speak again. So do not resent the silence. Reverence it. It means I trusted you enough to stay. I trusted you enough to still believe when I didn't speak. And now I'm rewarding the trust with revelation. I'm about to show you what I've been doing behind the veil. Doors will open without noise. Promises will manifest without announcement. You will walk into rooms you didn't knock on because I opened them in the silence. You'll receive answers you stopped asking for because I was answering in a higher realm. And when it comes, you'll understand. My silence was never my distance. It was my design. I hid you in the hush so I could crown you in the clarity. And now the time has come. The silence lifts. The voice returns. And with it, your next assignment. Listen closely now. I'm speaking again. Child, let me speak to the part of you you've been hiding. The broken part. The place that doesn't feel anointed. The place that trembles in secret and bleeds in silence. You've noticed the cracks in your foundation, haven't you? The thoughts you can't seem to control. The trust that feels fragile. The faith that wavers like a candle in the wind. You've looked at yourself and whispered, God, I'm not strong enough. But listen to me, and listen very closely. I never asked you to be strong enough. I asked you to be surrendered. The cracks you see are not signs of failure. They are invitations. And I've allowed them not to destroy your structure, but to reveal your need for me. You've believed that wholeness looks like perfection. But in my kingdom, wholeness looks like honesty. I cannot fill what you refuse to reveal. I cannot heal what you pretend doesn't hurt. But when you let me see it, when you stop covering the cracks with religious performance or human pride, that's when my glory rushes in like floodlight through shattered glass. You see brokenness. I see access points. You see weakness. I see an opening for wonder. You feared that collapse was imminent. But I say I will not let you fall. I will fill you until falling is no longer possible. You are not collapsing. You are being carved out for glory. The shell of your own strength is giving way to the inner structure of my spirit. This is not punishment. It is preparation. I have allowed the shaking not to shame you, but to show you that my power is made perfect, not in your performance, but in your places of pressure. You've looked at others and assumed they were stronger because they looked steady. But I do not build on appearance. I build on authenticity. And your cracks are proof that you've lived, you fought, you stayed standing even when it hurt. I do not condemn that. I celebrate it because in those cracks, I am pouring new wine. In those wounds, I am planting new wisdom. The world teaches you to hide the flaws. I call you to offer them because what you surrender becomes sacred. So, child, do not despise your fragility. Do not fear the lines that form from pressure. Those cracks are not your collapse. They are your calling card. They are proof you've been through fire and lived to testify. And in them, I am writing a message the world needs to read. Grace lives here. Glory entered through here. God rebuilds here. Don't patch over what I am trying to inhabit. Don't numb what I am trying to speak through. Your brokenness is not a liability. It's my favorite canvas. Because when you lift your hands and worship through the very places that once bled, the sound is louder than the strongest shout. It is holy thunder that shakes hell. Now that my voice has become the compass for your chaos and the fire in your chest, I ask you, will you carry it forward? I am not just moving in you, I am moving through you. My beloved child, the fire I have ignited in you today is not meant to stay hidden. It is meant to spread. If this word has touched your spirit, If you feel the stirring, the awakening, the shift, then respond. Type Amen, or I receive it in the comments. Tell me, tell the world which part burned in your heart the most. Your testimony will become someone else's breakthrough. Like this video if you believe God is speaking directly to you right now. Share it with that one person who is weary, waiting, and wondering if I still speak. Your obedience in sharing may be the very summons they have been praying for. Do not let this moment end in silence. Let your yes echo. Let your amen rise. Let your share carry my voice further. Heaven is rejoicing. Angels are standing by. The move of God is already beginning through your obedience. Now go, my child. Burn with purpose. Speak with boldness. Walk in the authority I have given you. I am the Lord your God, and I am not finished with you yet. Comment, like, share, and watch what I will do.